So hello, it's for me a unique event. I'm first time on the stage with other Guna. So
Me as well.
So it's already good starting. But when I was preparing for this discussion, I'm not working in a field of education on the daily basis. So my first temptation was just to use AI, ask some questions. But actually, how many of you on the daily basis use AI tools? Can you raise hand? Oh, okay. And how many of you stopped and thinks, maybe before I ask AI, maybe I want to hear my own thoughts? And for this discussion, when we were preparing, we with Guna had discussions. And what was interesting, not just to search for the big questions in AI and education field, but hear about real experiences. And Guna recently was in Estonia, and together with practitioners and educators, you had great meetings. So maybe you can share what you heard there and what stuck with you.
Yes, I had this great opportunity last week for 2 days to be in Tallinn, Estonia, where is a nationwide educational initiative, AI Leap, which support implementation AI in schools. And we invited all who are interested to come to them and to see their practice, what they do. And I'm so grateful that they are so open and so honest about what we are doing, because you see, Marit was showing the picture of animals. It's everywhere. It's such animals everywhere, also not only in university, also in schools. So there is a lot of cautious actually in education how to approach, because yes, there are researches now showing that usage of generic AI is really, so it gives instant performance increase, but not deep learning, and education sector is quite concerned how to move on and what to do. And Estonia, what we do, they implement generic educational module with tutoring AI module, Socratic approach, what also Marit Sele showed, but as well there, it's not so easy. Because with personalization, yes, it's promising, but to build it up, it takes time, and it takes effort really to build it, because it doesn't work so easy to be personalized. And then kids sometimes are getting annoyed because it's not really doing what we are expecting, or frustrating, but it's asking questions and questions, and maybe at some moment it needs just some reallocation of where to go. So that's why it's not so easy. So we shared their experiences, those ones about the tools. Yes, we do see that teachers are using a lot as well to improve their efficiency. That is working. But what is the basis? And I think it's good where how educators are thinking. The basis is really for learning is pedagogy first, teaching methods. And AI is just a good technology which complement where it could be used, but not really as something which can completely substitute a teacher. So we are very aware of it and very pragmatically way, and it's also for participants in that meeting last week. There are practitioners from more than 20 countries, not only Europe, also Singapore and Japan was there coming and discussing, because everybody is learning on the way. How Estonians said, we are making a plane while flying. I think it's like we all do here in education about usage of AI. But what was like one of the points what Estonians, and I think all of us also here in Latvia is waiting that AI, not waiting, but AI will be supporting a bit of change in education system or teaching practices. Because in Estonia as well in Latvia, we are so knowledge intense. We are used to pass knowledge a lot, but with AI as knowledge is instantly available, more is about the teaching practices of the methods how we use, and that's why we think that will change, will like force to change that practicality. So this is what is burning, what is happening in the big picture, and but let's be, as we have this fireside chat, like there is no fire here, but I think it's like such atmosphere. I think we could talk a little bit about ourselves as practitioners, as personalities, because what is AI for us? Because Yes, I am in education, but you are leading AI center. So what is AI for you personally?
Yeah, for me, AI, it's not technology. Why I am in AI Center, because for me, I like this uncertainty and also all those big questions. And we don't have answers for them instantly. And what I heard also from experience you got in Estonia, there are a lot of big questions that are on the table, and we don't have those answers. And I think it's frightening and exciting at the same moment, because we have a chance to build this future. And what I liked also in the previous presentation is the main question, maybe it's not regarding AI tools, AI technology, but how we see the future, what we want to achieve, what are the challenges for our planet, for our society, for humanity. And maybe starting from this perspective, we can start to understand what we want to change in education, and what we want to achieve in the future, and how it will tackle those issues what humanity faces at the moment. So in my opinion, this is a very interesting topic also for me personally, just to see how everything evolves and also be part of the future. And for you, Gunnar?
Yeah, for me, like I'm a very curious person myself, like naturally. And when generative AI was available, end of 2022, I immediately started to play with what it is. But currently, like personally for me, I hope it's reflected with some of you as well. The speed of change is so intense that sometimes I'm just sure if I'm moving it fast enough, or am I using it most efficiently enough? So this is I'm still learning. Do I pass thinking too much maybe? And when I should take it back? So I'm still learning, but the speed is something which kind of is like back in my back all the time. So speed, but from your professional work now we talk about personalities, but I think audience could be quite interested. What is cooking in your center now? Because the AI Center is something new, and we'd love to hear what you do there. What is cooking? And I know education is one of your priorities, right?
Yes, education as a topic is one of the priorities. The AI Center is its new foundation, founded by government, universities, and industry. And of course, we have a lot of tasks, but one of the practical tools and tasks we are doing at the moment, we have a regulatory sandbox. And I like this idea. I like that AI Center has this mandate to offer this practical tool for the innovators. And currently, we already have 3 projects in our sandbox. And one of them is in the field of education. And what is the point of this kind of a sandbox? It's to test high-risk AI systems. So we do it very practically. We have idea and already some product from the innovator. And we involve regulatory authorities, and together we look at this practical scenario and try to understand, can we do like this or not? Is it ethically? Will it help? And for example, this one project we have in education, so the company is building a cognitive twin for the children, and to offer personalized education in the future. But of course, there are a lot of ethical, legal questions, what we can do with those children and how these systems and technologies, what they will do in the end of the day. So, but I think it's the only way to have these practical tests, to have these practical discussions, and actually to see where this red line is. So it's quite exciting to see those new technologies in front of you and try to understand how you can move forward and actually can humans use these technologies. So it's very practical thing we are doing at the moment. And what about your foundation?
Yes, Foundation Von Zucht is also relatively new. A bit older than your center. We are operating a bit more than 2 years, and we are established by Swedbank, and we support educational initiatives to nurturing quality of education in Latvia. Yes, we support also AI-related initiatives as we looking for how to bring all the notice to Latvia. I think we'll maybe hear it in next panel. So we have AI-related AI literacy and digital skills. But what we are supporting and thinking, we really want to support learning. And I think Marit Sale also showed this. I like that formula, didn't know what one. But yes, knowledge with K is really now available. But with thinking and leadership, this is areas where we still need, apart from AI, to develop ourselves. So that's why our foundation is supporting initiatives like mindfulness for first grade kids, for primary schools, because how to build your resilience, how to understand your emotions, how to monitor or reduce your stress and focus, because if there is no focus, there is no learning. So this is initiatives we are, for example. At the same time, the latest one we supported now is regarding science and math teaching in schools. Again, we need more support there. And then Marit also showed that there is need for this balance, what fundamental knowledge we have to pass and give the kids, and when is other type of learning happening. And math and science, we usually lose our kids around grade 4 to 6. So this is the most vulnerable grade, so it's age from 10 starting, when maths becomes a bit more effort needed to so that's why we need to look how can we support to teach that. Well, also we support, for example, out of class, out of school learning initiatives, because we believe that practical learnings and out of school learnings is the ones which prepares you for the life, for keeping this curiosity in your lives, which needed for lifelong learning. So these are many of us. So looking at our webpage, you will see all the social networks as well, what we were telling about what we support. But there is one thing tomorrow, which I invite you to come to Jelgava. There is another festival, Youth and Kids Technology Festival, where you can in practice see what our kids currently is doing at schools. We're already building electrical cars and driving them. Tomorrow you can see that in Jelgava. We are navigating drones in schools. We are programming robots and other things. We are preparing engineer projects, and it's happening already. We just need to move to support and to boost this curiosity, which we sometimes lose in our school systems. That's why it's our foundation, which in a way try to support the system to help and to move it. But learning how it's happening in schools to the direction which really foster learning throughout the life. This is something which we try to support.
So we are practical ladies representing practical organizations. But I believe that really only doing things we can learn exactly, because we can speak a lot, but if we are not doing and trying out, then it will take a long time to understand what is going on. So what I hear is testing, doing, and leadership.
True, and for AI in education, it's really just technology. Learning first, like using, we really should create, I think, environment where kids grow up good thinkers, good learners, and using smartly all the technologies, and really think about the future which we would like to live. And on personal note, some other advices.
I think we can conclude maybe with what I have in my mind is, of course, the technological revolution. It's happening and it will go its way. But the questions we have to ask and we have to think about is regarding social evolution. Do we as a humans are smart enough to use in our good this technological progress and revolution? So I think we just keep asking questions, good questions. I think it's how we also interact with the AI. We are asking questions, and we just have to keep asking and also trying.
Fully agree, and also take care of yourselves. With AI, we are becoming like pushing us to be more productive, more effective. But we also, I think, need to clear our mind and brain, and sometimes just to wander about, and then to relax our brain muscle as well, in order to be again more productive, more innovative, and more efficient and successful. So take care also about ourselves in this very speedy times.
Yeah. So then we can pass to the panel. I think maybe there will be some more answers to those big questions. And for all the audience, what I can wish: take care, be mindful, and use technology smart.
Yes, I fully agree.